All right. I don't want to wait too long because we all have places to be and things to do. So let's go ahead and get this party started. First of all, thanks everyone for being here tonight. This is the first out of several orientations we're going to have for Camp Ketcha's 2026 summer camp. My name is Michael Vincent. I am the Director of Youth and Camp Programs here at Ketcha. This is actually going to be my second summer. I was hired on right before last summer. So I'm very, very excited to have a full year under my belt of being able to look ahead and plan camp and get everything just the way we want it for 2026. It's a really, really fun summer ahead that we have planned for everybody. Really, really excited about our camps and our offerings that we have for everybody this year. So without further ado, let's just get into a slideshow. So this is going to be kind of like slide presentation to cover all of the basics of summer camp for 2026. People can, if they want to, I'm kind of running the show by myself tonight. So if people want to add things into the chat, the truth is I might not see it right away, but what we're going to do is go through that presentation. And at the very end of the presentation, we're going to leave time for a Q&A. So at that time, anybody that has any questions, they can either put those questions in the chat, or if you're feeling a little more brave, you can turn on your camera and I'll give people the opportunity to unmute themselves and we can ask questions live. But that's the plan. So let me go ahead and start to share my screen and we will get going with our presentation here. All right. So welcome to the Camp Ketcha Summer 2026 orientation. We are going to have a few more orientations, so this is just the first. We're going to be having one on Wednesday, April 29th, which is going to be an in-person open house from 4 to 6 p.m. Another one, another in-person open house on Saturday, May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then another virtual orientation online on Tuesday, May 5th from 6 p.m. to 7:30. So this is the first out of several, and we're going to record this one tonight. Oh, I should mention this one is being recorded, just to let everyone know. So we're going to record this and hopefully get this posted online for anyone that couldn't be here live tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Here are a couple of QR codes for people that you can point your camera right at the screen. One of them will take you to our 2026 Summer Camp Handbook, which has lots and lots of really important information. We actually require that all families sign off that they read their handbook as part of their paperwork. So we highly recommend digging into that. There's really good information in there. The other QR code will take you to our quick sheets. So that is a list of all the camps that we're offering, a list of all our weeks, our rates and our dates, our prices, all types of just really important information in a quick format that's easy to see. This is all on our website as well, so very easy to access. All right, so the mission of Ketcha Outdoors is to provide equitable access to outdoor experiences and gear, promoting well-being, sustainability, and resilient communities. The long story short of that is we truly believe in the outdoors as a place for people that everybody belongs, everybody has a right to go outdoors, everybody has a right to experience nature and connect to nature, and we truly believe in the absolute magic and fantastic ways that that affects people's life when they get out there and make a connection to the outdoor world. So that's really what we're all about. We're all about our community. We have a really strong community. We've been doing this since 1964. So we have a long and hopefully pretty sterling tradition in the community that dates back a long time. We are big proponents of diversity. Everybody is welcome at our camp, regardless of their background, their socioeconomic status. We want everybody to come here to Ketcha Outdoors and have the opportunity to experience what we do. We're really big on education. So, it's one thing to go to a camp and have fun, and everything we do is fun. That's one of our core values. We also want to make sure that our campers are learning something along the way. And if you're a teacher or a parent, often the best way for campers to learn something is by having fun. So we sneak that learning into the fun stuff that we do, and campers walk away with a really good outdoor and fun education along the way. We're really big on environmental stewardship as well. You know, we take good care of our property. We have 107 acres here in Scarborough that we own, and we take really great care of it and make sure that our campers and everybody that visit practices values like leave no trace and things like that. And then another one of our values is cultivating top staff. So for me, as a fairly new director with only one summer in my belt, and this is going to be my second, one of my big goals is to try to retain our top staff and our top talent, get them coming back year after year, because when we invest in training, when we invest in building up our staff, that's one of our big keys to success, to making sure we have excellent, fantastic staff. And I can say from last summer, I was blown away by the quality of the staff that we had last year. Our counselors, our program staff, everybody did a tremendous job. And I'm really, truly proud of the people that we have working for us here. So a lot of people don't know this. You are probably here for Camp Ketcha. Camp Ketcha is our summertime program, and we also offer vacation camps year round. So anytime that the schools have a school vacation, we're here doing camps. So we have one coming up February 16th to 20th. We have another one, a single camp day in March, and then we have more vacation camps coming up in April. You can sign up for those right now. Registration is open. But Camp Ketcha is just one aspect of a larger organization that we're part of called Ketcha Outdoors. So within Ketcha Outdoors, we have after school explorer programs. We have the kids come in from Scarborough schools, although it's not limited to Scarborough schools, and come here after school for lots of learning and fun and games and play. We still have room and space available in that program. So if you're interested, you can go and sign up and register for that program right now. We operate a farm and forest preschool here in Scarborough. So we have our own preschool. And just this past year, we actually doubled the size of the preschool thanks to our amazing leader, Kaylina. She is absolutely crushing it. We have the Portland Gear Hub. So maybe you might be familiar with the Portland Gear Hub over in Portland. They take donations of bicycles, teach people how to fix them up themselves, sell them at a very reasonable price. Their mission is making sure that everybody has the ability to get on a bike and other sports equipment. It's not limited to bikes. They sell camping gear, all types of sports equipment, basically making sure that people have access to bikes and sports equipment to participate in those activities. And if you'll notice our little note right there, all of our Ketcha families, when they sign up for our camps, they can actually receive 10% off at the Portland Gear Hub. So that's a nice little perk. We also host weddings and other events here at our campus in Scarborough. So lots of weekends, we'll have weddings going on, we'll have baby showers, we'll have all sorts of fun events, family reunions. So you can rent out our facility for those amazing activities and enjoy our 107 amazing acres for your own family or otherwise activity. So Camp Ketcha, we're really proud of the fact that we are accredited by the American Camp Association. So the American Camp Association is the only national accrediting body for camps, and we are a member. So we just got inspected right before, or I should say in 2024, and I think the inspection is good for 4 or 5 years, 3 or 4 years. So long story short, we passed our inspection with flying colors. With the American Camp Association and accreditation, there are 175 standards that we have to meet or exceed. So it basically just guarantees that everything that we're doing here at camp has passed through the eye of safety and making sure that we're doing things in the right way. We're also licensed as a youth camp with the state of Maine. And so basically we have two sets of criteria, two sets of accreditation that we have to follow. And whichever one is more strict, that's basically the one that we end up going with. So we have two different agencies that are looking over our shoulder, making sure we're doing things the right way. But as I said, we're always passing our inspections with flying colors. So we're very proud of our camp being a very safe place that follows a lot of rules and gets things done the right way. So this little cool animation here is our property. As I mentioned, we do have 107 acres. You can kind of see a map there up on the screen. Our property has kind of like a southern part and a northern tier connected with all sorts of hiking trails. On our property, we have main buildings. We have an art cabin. We have a farm with goats and chickens. We have a barn. We have a pool. We have a pond and a beach and a waterfront. We have Tons of hiking trails. We have yurts that we run programs out of. And as you can see on the map, we're also connected to the Scarborough Land Trust and Piper Shores. So our trails meet up with their trails, providing miles and miles of trails for our campers to use in a beautiful, beautiful natural setting with all types of different habitats and amazing space. So we're very, very lucky to have so much land and so much room to spread out here in Scarborough. And we make really good use of it with lots of really good features and facilities. You can tour our campus, of course, during our open houses that I mentioned. So when you come for our open houses, part of that is going on a campus tour. If you look us up on YouTube, you can actually find a 7-minute video that's a campus tour that was done by Kaylina, our preschool director, and that's really interesting as well. So this slide just kind of shows a breakdown of how our staff is set up. As the director, I would be part of the leadership team. We have Liz, who is our director of operations. We have Anne, who is our assistant director. We have a brand new executive director named Lucia, who just joined us, who's doing really good things and has really good plans for our future. So that would be our leadership team. Underneath us, we have our program staff. So our program staff are people that are ages 18 plus, and these are people that we consider experts in their particular program area. So here at Camp Ketcha in the summer, we have 10 different program areas. We'll talk all about those in a minute, but basically everything from archery to arts and crafts to a ropes course to the waterfront. We have people in charge of those areas that are creating curriculum and creating activities for our campers to make sure that those activities are super fun and super engaging for our campers. We do have a camp nurse on site. We're very lucky. Her name is Kristen. She's absolutely outstanding and amazing. She is coming back this next summer, so we're very thrilled about that. We have our waterfront director, Caroline, who's also a returning person who's also phenomenal and amazing. She runs our waterfront like a tight ship, and we're very lucky to have her as well. She's in charge of all of our lifeguards and doing swim tests and things like that. Where it says CSS, that stands for Camper Support Specialist. This is a new role that we started last year, and it was incredibly successful. The Camper Support Specialist, I try to explain it almost like our camp nurse for mental health. So this is Brittany. She was our camp support specialist last year. She's going to come back again this summer, and she's phenomenal. She has a background in mental health and counseling, and she is a tremendous resource, not only for our campers when they're having a hard day and having behavioral issues, but also our staff and helping to coach our staff and how to handle our campers when they're having a bad day. Lots of tips and tricks on how to make sure that we can make sure all of our campers are set up for success and doing really well. So we're really proud that that role is something we were able to bring to camp last year, and really proud that we're bringing it back. And we're very excited that Brittany's going to be there. And then we have head counselors. So our whole counselor section starts with our head counselors. These are people that are 21 plus and have that maturity to be supervisors. Underneath our head counselors, we have our senior counselors. They are 18 plus. And then we have our junior counselors that are usually ages 16 and 17, but we do have some 15-year-olds that have come through our counselor and training program as well. So in the summer, we have maybe about 90 seasonal staff that we hire. So we have a lot of staff, and there's a lot of different layers as well there. I didn't really mention the lifeguards underneath our waterfront director. So we have our senior lifeguards and junior lifeguards. They all go through certified lifeguard training and are trained to, well, some of them are trained to offer swim lessons as part of our swimming as well. We do a lot of staff training here. As again, we really invest in our staff to make sure they're receiving the training that they need to be excellent, top-notch staff. Our staff does go through between 25 and 30 hours of training before the season starts. They are CPR, first aid, AED certified. They do go through basic water safety for parents and caregivers. We make sure that everybody takes a mandated reporter training. That's really important to us for safety. And then some other topics that we include in their training are child abuse and prevention, ages and stages of development for all our different age campers. We have campers here from ages 4 to 14. So understanding their ages of growth and their stages of development is really important for our staff to make sure that we're doing things age appropriately. Training is an active supervision to make sure that our counselors are always engaged with our campers and leading fun activities, even in the in-between times between programs. Group facilitation, making sure that they have the skills to be entertaining and fun for our campers. Do intercultural training, and of course, emergency preparedness as well. We do have a counselor and training program that we're really proud of. This is for our campers that have aged out of coming to camp as campers, but still are in the community and want to be part of the Camp Ketcha team. So they can apply to be counselors in training. It's a 3-week program that is running weeks 5 through 7 this year. Anne, who is our assistant director, is going to be our CIT liaison this year and kind of organizing that program. So we're really excited to have her kind of running the show. The program consists of 2 weeks of instruction, which is kind of like staff training light. They get trained on leadership, teamwork, facilitation. They also get a lot of job readiness things. So if this is a young teen who's never had a job before, this is the ultimate perfect first taste of them having something that's kind of sort of like a job where they get a lot of those job training skills. They do take first aid, CPR, and AED courses as well. And after those 2 weeks of instruction and learning, then we have them shadow in our groups for 1 week where they kind of get to step up and act like counselors. I should say that they are not involved in our counselor to camper ratios. They're just in addition to our normal counselors. So we don't rely on them for our ratios. They're just there as extra bonuses to help us out and make camp even more fun. We do have a leader in training program. This is for people that have already completed our counselor in training program or other similar program. And again, same thing, they're not taking the place of our counselors, but it is something in addition for people that are that age that have already been a CIT. If they'd like to come back and volunteer, we welcome them to do so. So this is our 5-finger contract. I've worked with kids for, yeah, I didn't really give you much background on myself. I've been working with kids for over 20 years myself as an outdoor educator. I find that when it comes to rules around any type of school or camp or anything like that, the more simple we can keep it, the better. So we use something called the 5-finger contract to make sure all of our campers and all of our staff and all of our visitors understand our expectations for how everybody here at Camp Ketcha should be. So the pinky is our for safety. Our ring finger is for respect. Add the middle finger for kindness, and our fourth finger is for leadership, and our fifth finger is for fun. So put them all together, give someone a big high five for fun. So we're going to break those down and little by little. We covered these with the kids, certainly in depth every Monday morning of each week of camp, but then also within their counselor groups, they cover these standards every day as well. So safety would include things like staying with the group, playing safely and having a safe body. So knowing to keep our bodies to ourselves, not pushing and shoving and kicking and things like that. Uh, Self-care is part of safety. So making sure that we're drinking enough water, making sure that we're reapplying sunscreen and bug spray on a regular basis. On really hot days, we have water days. We want to make sure that we are taking time out to rest and not overdoing it. Following directions is really important for safety. Make sure our campers are all on the same page so we can keep them safe. And then also emotional safety. We talk a lot about emotional safety here at camp and boundaries. So making sure our campers understand that part of being safe is being safe with our words and safe with our actions as well. For respect, I always break it down 4 ways. We respect others, so that is our fellow campers, staff members, visitors, special guests. We respect ourselves, which means we cut ourselves some slack. We give ourselves a pat on the back. We don't get down on ourselves. We respect nature. We're really big on respecting nature, plants and trees, and not walking along and ripping leaves off the bushes as you go by, anything like that. And then we're really big on respecting our equipment and our property. We know that families out there work very hard for their money, and we know that camp is, as much as we try to make it as affordable as possible, we know that it is a financial investment. So we try to make sure that everyone is respecting our kickballs and our dodgeballs and our other equipment because it is not cheap to replace. So making sure that it's there for future use and that we're not replacing stuff constantly is really important. Kindness. We believe in the golden rule: treat other people the way you want to be treated. We are a big proponents of inclusion. Everybody belongs here at Ketcha. Kindness is cool and everybody gets invited. Nobody gets left out. Big fans of sportsmanship. Nobody's going to be recruiting anybody from the kickball teams to go to college on a scholarship. So it's all about having fun. We're big fans of leave no trace, service, and lifting others up. Leadership could be explained by leading by example, having integrity and telling the truth, being a helper, maybe helping staff members clean up after an activity, and looking out for others in the natural world. We encourage our campers to be leaders. And then if we do all those 4 things, safety, respect, kindness, and leadership, it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to have fun. We're going to have exciting activities and programs. We're going to be enthusiastic. We hope our campers are too. We're all about positivity and trying new things. So we're big proponents of the understanding that it's good for campers to push out of their comfort zone a little bit and try new things, but it's always challenged by choice. But when they do, they always end up having a fun time. All right, so we run, in short, basically two types of camps here at Camp Ketcha. Our core program, our traditional program, is called our traditional camps. So this is set up in different age groups. All of our camps are. We have our Cottontails, that is the pre-K through K younger campers. They are at a 1 to 5 staff ratio, so that means one staff member for every 5 Cottontail campers. They get a max and relax block every day. So that means after lunch, they get a quiet space to set out a yoga mat or other mat, maybe take a nap or play with some, coloring or other low key activities just to kind of like calm them down after lunch to make sure that they are well rested. For the younger kids, a camp day can be a lot. So we want to make sure that we're building in opportunities for them to rest. Our next group up is our woodchucks. These are campers who are entering grades 1 and 2 in the fall. That is also at a 1 to 5 staff ratio. They get to do low ropes activities, not the high ropes. Next up, we have our chipmunks. That is grades 3 and 4, heading into grades 3 and 4 in the fall. They are a 1 to 6 staff ratio. They get to start out some high ropes activities, so that's really fun. Our bobcats come next. They are campers who are entering grades 5 to 6 in the fall. They are at a 1 to 8 staffing ratio. They get to do the high ropes and they get a lot of group choice blocks as well. So they get some say in what they do during their free time. And then our oldest campers, those are campers that are going into grades 7 and 8. Those are known as our black bears. They're at a 1 to 8 staff ratio, get to do high ropes and lots of extended choice and activities. Last year, some of our black bear students put together some really fun skits that they performed at the end of our camp weeks. So, our black bears are always up to their own creative endeavors, which is really fun to see. But traditional camp, we're going to cover what the activities are in traditional camp. You'll see here a list of, it's not an exhaustive list. This is a lot of the activities do, but maybe not all. Anyone that has an asterisk next to it is actually an area where we hire a program staff specifically for that area. So we do have swimming and we don't hire one staff, we hire a bunch of staff to be our swimming instructors and lifeguards and our waterfront director. We have our arts and crafts program and we have a whole entire art cabin on site, which is one of my favorite places to visit in the summertime because it's nice and cool and air conditioned and it's usually pretty calm in there. We just last year built a brand new music and drama stage, and we have a music and drama program person. I'm really excited. This year we're doing something new. We are offering a brand new program area that we're calling our Forest Workshop. This is actually based on Scandinavian forest school activities. So this is going to be a lot of opportunity for kids to use hand tools, for use of lumber and wood and natural materials. They're going to be out in nature, in the forest, building playscapes, building forts, maybe doing some STEM activities. Who knows? I'm going to see if we can get them to make like a trebuchet or a catapult or something super cool. But basically, it's going to be an opportunity for them to be creative, and it's going to be very, very camper driven on the projects, but creating cool stuff out in the forest. I'm very excited about that. Of course, we have our sports program, we have archery, we have our ropes course, our low and high ropes course. We have outdoor and survival skills, environmental education. We go on lots of hikes. We have 2 different playgrounds here. We have our upper and our forest playground with different activities. We have special guests come in and bring live native and non-native animals, which is super cool. Of course, it wouldn't be summer camp without all types of games and songs. We do special events every single week. We have lots of guest speakers coming through. We have a farm and garden program. So we have not only gardening, but we also have our own goats and chickens at our residence here. And the kids love visiting our goats and chickens. And we actually build in some free time for the campers as well. So it's not all scheduled. They get some free time. Oftentimes you'll find them in the Gaga pit playing Gaga ball during free time or taking a hike, but there's lots of opportunities for different activities during free time. This is just kind of a sample of our daily schedule. So all those activities that I just mentioned, campers will rotate throughout those all week long. I will say that our campers do get to swim every single day. That's one of our big selling points. All of our campers will get water time every single day that they're here. So that's really exciting. But here's just a sample schedule running from 9 to 4 o'clock. That's our normal camp day. We do offer early care and late care, but our main camp day is from 9 to 4. So during the 9:30 block, that's time for drop off. We play some name games. We have opening circle, sing some songs. We have 5 program blocks throughout the day. That's where they're going to be rotating around to all those activities we just talked about. We do have 2 snacks throughout the day and lunch. So there's 3 opportunities for the campers to eat because they're burning a lot of calories. And we want to make sure that they're well fed and well hydrated. Those snack and lunch breaks are also great opportunities for them to reapply sunscreen and bug spray. And our counselors are always really on top of that, making sure that they're reapplying because it's mandatory to do that during those time periods, making sure they're not getting sunburn or too bug bitten. And then at the end of the day, we have our closing circle. If you've been here before, you know we sing our Camp Ketcha song, which is a near and dear favorite to everyone's heart. And that's when we do a debrief and a pickup at the end of the day. So that's kind of just our sample schedule, 5 different program blocks and opening and closing, lots of opportunity to eat and put on bug spray and stuff. So here's our specialty camps. We run lots of different specialty camps all throughout the summer. We have 3 different age levels. We don't have animal names for them. We call them mini, junior, and senior. So mini starts at grades 1 and 2. It's ages 6 and up. Our junior specialty camps are campers that are entering grades 3 and 4, and our senior camps are campers that are entering grades 5 and 8. So let's talk about some of our specialty camp activities that we're doing. So these are our specialty camps that we're offering in 2026. We are doing art camp. Oh, and I should say that most of these camps do involve field trips of some type or another or special guest visitors. So one way or the other, the campers are going to get a field trip or a special guest visitor coming into campus to teach them something cool. So this year we're doing art camp. We're doing World of Water. So that one is really, really popular. We're doing that 3 times throughout the summer. That gives campers the opportunity to take a field trip to the beach as well as aquaboggan to the water park. We do our rope and rock camp. That's an opportunity for campers to get in lots of rock climbing with trips to either Evo Rock Gym or Salt Pump Rock Gym. Our nature discovery camp, that is for our mini and our juniors. So that's kind of like outdoor survival light. They're getting a lot of good outdoor skills, but not like the full outdoor survival experience that our older campers get. For that outdoor survival camp, our campers get to spend a overnight here on campus and camp out in tents and do a marshmallow roast and all those things. Another new thing that we're adding this summer that I'm really, really excited about is we are doing a brand new theater camp. So this is going to be an opportunity for kids that are into theater or might be into theater to get really creative. It's going to be all about improvisational games. It's going to be all about creating scripts and acting and running costuming, maybe some fight choreography. We'll see how it goes. But all aspects of doing theater. And then at the end of the week on Friday, there's going to be camper theater presentations that families and parents can attend. That's going to be really great. We do run animal camps where kids get to take care of our goats and chickens and have some guest visitors. We do fantasy camp where kids get to live out fantasy lives of characters like wizards and elves and dragons and go on quests, create wands and all that amazing stuff. We do some STEM camps so the kids get to learn all about some really cool science activities and experiments. One of our most popular is our whitewater rafting camp where we go up to Adventure Bound in Caratunk, Maine, and our campers do whitewater rafting on the Forks. We do sports camp, and then we also do wheels and walls camp. Last year, we actually ran a mountain bike camp as well. What we've done this year is kind of combined our mountain bike and our wheels and walls camp. So it's going to include mountain biking, skateboarding, and rock climbing. So that's kind of like our extreme sports camp, and it is really popular and really fun. All right, so let's talk about our waterfront. We always get a lot of questions about this, so I like to talk a lot about our waterfront. Our lifeguard to swimmer ratio is 1 to 20. However, that doesn't even include our staff members. Our staff members, a lot of them are required to also get in the pool and swim with our campers. So they, even though they're not official lifeguards, they kind of are there for safety reasons as well. But our trained official lifeguards is a 1 to 20 ratio. Our certified pool operator is Paul. He's our amazing maintenance guy, and he's certified to take care of the chemicals and make sure our pool is good and healthy for all of our campers. Our lifeguards, some of our lifeguards are trained to offer swim lessons, so we do offer swim lessons for some of our campers. All of our lifeguards, of course, are certified and up to date. As I mentioned, all of our campers get to swim every single day, either almost always in the pool, sometimes in the pond if we need to make a switch, but for the vast majority of the time, it's the pool. And then we test our swim skills. We test the camper swim skills before they get a chance to go in the water, or as they're getting in the water, we're testing. And I'm going to talk about all those different levels and things like that. Our chipmunks and our woodchucks and cottontails get tested twice a week. We call it test, mark, and protect. So after they go through the test period, they are going to wear a colored rubber band that tells what level they're at. And then the campers that are not able to swim on their own, they're going to be wearing flotation devices. That's where the protect comes in, as well as our staffing ratios and making sure they're within arm's reach of counselors at all times. Last year, we started to offer swim tests before and after camp. We're planning on doing that again, so we're going to have more information about that as we get closer to the start of our camp season. It's all about making sure we're able to schedule lifeguards ahead of time, but we'll have more information on that forthcoming so that parents can actually come and have their camper swim tested before camp even begins. This is just some information on our different swimming levels. Our purple is our non-swimmer. So those are our campers that are required to wear a flotation device and be within arm's reach of a counselor at all times. They're limited to the shallow end of the pool and the first section of the pond. Our red is our beginning swimmer. They're limited to water that is armpit depth or less, and they also have to be within arm's reach of a counselor at all times. Our yellow is our shallow water swimmers. They are limited to the shallow end of the pool in the first two sections of the pond. And then our green is our highest level, our most competent swimmers. They are deep water swimmers. They are able to swim in all designated pool and pond areas, and they have the blessing to jump off of our black squares and other areas and jump into the water as well. So our swim test standards, we always get lots of questions about this. So for that highest level, for that green swim level, the requirements are that our campers are able to swim the width of the pool twice without touching ground, without touching their feet to the ground. They're able to float, I'm sorry, front float with their face in the water. They're able to back float. They're able to tread water in the deep end of the pool for 30 seconds. And then they're also able to swim to the pool ladder, climb out of their own accord, jump back in the water, resurface on their own, and climb out again. So that's what our campers would need to do to reach that green highest level of swim level. And that's what we're aiming for. If they fall short of that, that's when our waterfront director will make the designation about whether they're going to be a purple, a red, a yellow, those other levels, depending on how they perform. All right, so as I mentioned, we take our sunscreen and bug spray very seriously. We want to make sure that our campers are always protected from sun and bugs. So we do have a sunscreen and bug spray schedule. We always beg and plead and ask our parents to please, please, please apply sunscreen to your campers before you get to camp. We do have close to 300 campers showing up on any given day. So if you are waiting until you get here into the parking lot to apply sunscreen and bug spray, is going to slow down the process a lot for everybody. So we ask and plead and beg, please, parents and families, please apply some sunscreen and bug spray to your camper before dropping them off in the morning. After that, we do reapply very often. So we do at first snack period, at lunch, at the second snack period, before and after any swimming, and also before lake care if the camper is here in lake care. We do contract with Top Leaf Tree to do organic tick spray here on campus. And we do tick tubes that are placed. It's kind of like a tick trap placed across campus. As you know, if you've lived in Maine, ticks are an issue everywhere in Maine. I'm very, very happy to say the vast majority of our campus is very, very tick-free. No place in Maine is completely tick-free. There's no guarantee of that. But in my time here, it was very, very, very rare that a camper or staff member would find a tick on them from being on our campus. So we're really happy about how well our priorities going. But despite that, we are also doing tick checks throughout the day. So during those periods where kids are applying sunscreen and bug spray, our counselors are also helping them to check for ticks at that time. And we always recommend that parents and families check for ticks when the kids get home. From my background in outdoor education, I know that it takes about 24 hours for, even if a tick has Lyme disease or other things to spread, it takes about 24 hours. So as long as you get those ticks off in a reasonable amount of time, the camper should be totally safe. But as I said, because of our measures, very few ticks here on campus, which we're very excited about. And hopefully that'll be the case this summer as well. All right, drop off and pick up. We get a lot of questions about this as well. As I did mention, we have about 300 campers that come on any given day. So our parking lots can get quite busy. We make sure that our staff is all parking at the very, very far end of the parking lot or even down by our ice house. That way, that gives more room for parents to show up. But we do want to make sure that the drop off and pickups are a pretty quick process for parents so we can get all these kids in and out. One thing that we always beg and plead and ask as well is when you're dropping off your camper, to check in with the group's counselor. It's really important that you're checking in and out with the group counselor because the group counselors have our attendance sheets every day, and they are the ones making sure that your camper is here or that they've left. So we've encountered issues in the past where sometimes parents have come to pick up their camper and just kind of swoop in and grab their camper without checking in with the counselor. And at that point, if the counselor doesn't see the parent pick up the camper or the family member pick up the camper, that can cause issues where we have to call home and be like, hey, did you pick up your camper? Okay, great. But we want to make sure that we're really, really on top of that and making sure that we have eyes on the campers at all times. So we're always asking parents to please, please, please check in and out with the counselors every day. On the first week of each week, I'm sorry, the first day of each week, every Monday, we're always going to have a lot of staff members out at the front to greet parents and families and greet campers. That way, you know exactly where you're going, which pavilion you're going to in our upper field, where your group is. We have lots of signs out as well. So we make it very, very easy to know where your group is and how to find your group. So we're always there to help out on those Mondays and future days as well. Another thing that we ask is for everybody to please bring their ID with them every day. This is something that we make no apologies for. We do ask to see IDs because that ensures that our campers are going home with the right people. When you fill out your paperwork, eventually there's going to be an approved adult list. So making sure that your camper goes home with somebody that is on that approved adult list is something that we take very, very, very seriously. So it can get a little bit what's the word on repetitive if we keep asking you for your ID, but we appreciate your cooperation with that to make sure that our campers are going home with the right people. Once our counselors get to know you by sight and have met you several times, they'll let you pick up your camper without the ID. But we always ask, please bring your ID just in case. We never know if you have a substitute counselor, somebody that might not know you as well. If your camper is old enough to walk or bike home, we do allow that, but they do need a signed permission slip that you've submitted to us for us to allow them to do that. And then our late pickup policy, generally we just ask that people are communicative with us, that you reach out. If you're going to be late, just call us and let us know. Our policy states that any participant who's picked up after 4, if they're not signed up for late care, or after 6, if they are signed up for late care, will be charged $1 for every minute they are late, plus a $15 fee. At 6:30, we will follow a failure to pick up child procedure, which basically means reaching out to child services. But we didn't need to go there last year. I don't anticipate we'll need to go there this year. Again, just reach out and if you're going to be late, just give us a shout, give us a call. We're pretty generous and forgiving on that. As long as you're letting us know that you're going to be late, it's usually not a problem. As I said, we do offer early care and late care, together known as extended care. Late care and early care are usually free play, usually on our upper field. That could be like playground, gaga ball, art projects, all sorts of fun sports on our upper field. The extended care hours in the morning, early care is from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then late care at the end of the day is from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. All the same pickup and drop off procedures apply. We ask you to check in with the counselors. Attendance is taken at the beginning and the end of early care and late care, and we're always doing head counts as well all throughout. And then our staff are always carrying radios, and there will be somebody working at the front desk, so we have it well staffed during those times. We do offer a bus. Our bus this year is going to be offered weeks 4 through 9, 4, 6. Yes, 4 through 9. This year, our busing is being provided by a custom coach of New England. We do have bus counselors that will be riding the bus every day. So basically, we rely on our own staff to monitor the campers while on the bus, both to and from. So we have paid staff members that are still watching the campers and still supervising the campers on the bus rides every day. The pickup and drop off locations this year are going to be throughout Portland, Falmouth, Westbrook, South Portland. So you can kind of see a schedule both here on this slide and also on our website. You can find a schedule. And then our staff members on the bus have a cell phone and direct contact to camp leadership in case there's any issues. So there is a limited amount of space on the bus. So if that's something you're interested in signing your camper up for, it doesn't usually fill up for every single week. I will say we usually end up with a little bit of extra room, but I will say make sure you're signing up early if that's something you think you need for the week. That way you can ensure that your camper has space on the bus to and from weeks 4 through 9. All right. As I mentioned, that's kind of loud. Sorry about that. What we're seeing is a video there of the Scarborough Fire Department bringing their giant truck and spraying our campers down on a hot day, one of our favorite activities. We do offer special events every single week. Every single week has its own theme, it has its own special event, it has its own costume that kids can wear on Wacky Wednesdays. So we'll talk all about these special events that we have planned for you this summer. Week one, we're doing a color carnival parade. This is going to entail color powder and kids doing a parade with music and color powder flying in the air and getting very colorful. Don't have them wear their best t-shirts or clothes on that day. It's non-staining, but just to be on the safe side. Week two is a brand new special event. This is called Operation Ketcha. This is going to be like a secret mission to solve a mystery. Week three is a classic event called Popsicles with the Pops. The Portland Pops Orchestra comes here to our campus after camp hours. All of our families are invited to attend. So this is a special event that families and other people from the community get to join in as well and have a fantastic 4th of July concert with the Pops. Week four is going to be our fantasy week. So that is our fantasy quest. Again, it's going to be another fun quest that campers are going to be involved in solving some mysteries, this time with a fantasy theme. Week five is a classic. That one is Airband. This is another activity where families and parents are invited to come watch their camper perform a incredible lip sync to whatever pop song they have chosen with their group. And it is always very fun and very entertaining with lots of fun costumes and incredible choreography. So that's always a great time. Week six is Pie in the Face. This is another Ketcha classic tradition. This is an opportunity for families and parents to contribute to Ketcha monetarily by donating money to get to pie their favorite counselor in the face. So basically how it works is families will donate into jars. We have a jar for every single counselor and staff member there. The staff members that have the most money donated to them by the end of the week will catch a pie or two or three in the face. And it is a activity enjoyed by everybody and a good way for Ketcha to raise a little bit of money to make our camp more fun. Week seven is wildlife encounter. So that's all about animals that week. We have a special guest that brings in some really incredible animals for the kids to meet. Week eight is another Ketcha tradition that is one of the most popular. That is our counselor hunt, where our counselors will hide across campus and our campers get to spread out and track down our counselors and find them hiding and get prizes and other things along the way. Week nine, we are going to do, other camps might call it color wars. We're calling it color games. We're going to divide our campers into different color teams and have them compete in any number of fun sports and games and challenges throughout the week to see which team can get the most points. And then week 10 is our Clean the Earth Challenge. This is one of our last weeks at camp. So we like to have the campers help us to pitch in and clean up our campus to make sure that we are giving back to nature and taking care of nature. So as I mentioned, on Wednesdays, we call that Wacky Wednesdays. There's optional pizza sign up, and we encourage all of our campers and staff to dress up that week, and each week has its own theme. I always tell families and parents, this is not that serious. You don't need to go out and buy brand new costumes. You don't need to stress about it at 11 o'clock the night before on Tuesday night. It's just for fun. So these are the different Wacky Wednesday costume themes. Week one, wear wild colors and carnival masks. Week two, wear a disguise. Week three, dress in beach attire. Week four, dress as a fantasy creature or character. Week five, dress as your favorite music star or wear a band tee. Week six, dress as your favorite space character or wear a space themed tee. Week 7, dress as your favorite animal or wear an animal tee. Week 8, one of my favorites, dress like a pirate. This is Pirate Week. Wear 9, they're going to wear their team colors, which with whatever team they're put on. And 10 is wear green in honor of the earth. So these are our Wacky Wednesday themes. Again, it's just for fun. You don't need to go out there and spend money on costumes or anything like that. Whatever you got lying around the house will work. As I mentioned on Wednesdays, our Pizza Wednesdays as well, we partner with Portland Pie Pizza. Shout out to them. They give us a really good deal on the pizza. For families who wish, they can sign up for 1 or 2 slices of pizza that is included with pretzels, popcorn, watermelon, and carrots. 1 slice is $6.50, 2 slices is $7. So because it's only 50 cents different, I say order 2 slices. If your kid doesn't want it, you can donate it to me. I will eat their pizza. Just kidding, of course. But yeah, it's a great tradition here at Ketcha that's been going back years and years, and the campers always love getting pizza on Wednesdays, but totally optional. All right, this is an opportunity to let you guys know what your camper needs to bring with them when they come to our camp. This is just a list of things they need with them every day. That is a reusable water bottle. That is a lunch. We do not have refrigerators or wait for the campers to heat their lunch, so we ask that the lunch be brought in a lunch box with ice packs or just stuff that doesn't need to be refrigerated or heated. 2 to 3 good, healthy, hearty snacks as they're burning a lot of calories. Campers should bring their own sunscreen that is marked with their name, also their own bug spray that is marked with their name. We do have bug spray and sunscreen here at camp if a camper forgets, but parents always like to have their own SPF that they like and brand that they like. So we always recommend the parents bring their own. Campers need a swimsuit and a towel and a plastic bag for the swim bags because they do swim every single day. We always recommend campers bring extra clothing in their backpack just in case that their clothes get super dirty or have an accident or something like that. We recommend they bring weather appropriate layers, especially a raincoat. If it starts to rain, we try to keep the campers outside as much as possible. Obviously, in thunder and lightning, that's not the case. We do bring them inside for that. But otherwise, if we're going to have some light rain, we're just going to keep going and keep hiking and keep playing outdoors. So we say it's good for campers to bring a raincoat or other weather appropriate things. It's great if campers can bring small comfort items if that helps them. So fidget toys, maybe a stuffed animal, things like that. However, we do not allow campers to bring certain things other than weapons and drugs and things that are obvious. We also do not allow campers to bring electronics. So campers are not allowed to have phones. They're not allowed to have smartwatches, video games, anything like that. We do expect that our campers are able to get through a camp day without the need for electronics. And then we also ask that campers please do not bring any type of trading cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, sports cards, you name it. Please don't bring it. We found in the past that there's always fights. They're always getting lost or torn or damaged or other things like that. It just causes way more problems than it helps. We do have playing cards and other things here on campus that campers can use, but please do not bring your own trading cards. Because we don't want to be responsible for them. This slide is all about our readiness criteria for our campers. We always say that we want everybody to be here at Ketcha. Ketcha is for everybody. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are set up and capable of taking everybody. Some campers may not be ready for a Ketcha experience. So this is kind of a list of our camper readiness. This can be found in the handbook as well in a lot more depth. But we do want our campers to have age-appropriate coping skills, be able to get through their day without technology, be able to communicate their needs or ask for help. So go to a counselor if they need something and communicate what they need. They need to have respect for others and the environment. So they need to be able to keep their hands to themselves and not engage in any type of violence, of course. Our campers need to be able to follow verbal instructions from our staff to make sure that they're staying safe. Our campers need to be able to make transitions between program areas. So when it's time to stop playing at the Gaga Pit, the campers know that, okay, it's time to stop playing Gaga Pit and start to get ready for our next activity. So we expect that our campers are able to make those transitions. We hope that our campers can practice all types of safety to make sure they're staying safe. Sensory regulation, this kind of comes basically, this is a way to say that our camp can be busy, it can be loud, it can be boisterous, and that's kind of how summer camps go. So making sure that our campers are prepared for a loud, boisterous environment is important. One of our really, really, really big ones is making sure that our campers are old enough and mature enough to stay with their group. If our campers are going to be trying to run off throughout the day, of course, that presents a safety issue for us. We don't have, fences here at Camp Ketcha. It is an open campus, so we want to make sure that our campers have the ability to stay with their group. And then, of course, our campers should be able to manage their personal hygiene. Now, our staff members are totally able to help them put on bug spray, put on sunscreen, help them with things like that, coach them through putting on their swimsuit or taking off their swimsuit, coach them through, bathroom things like that. But for the most part, the camper should be able to go to the bathroom and do those things by themselves. Right. This is some medical fast facts. As I said, our Ketcha staff are CPR, first aid, and AED certified. We do have Kristen, our full-time nurse, on staff throughout the summer, always available for any type of injuries or band-aids or ice packs. Even the emotional support ice packs come in handy. We ask that families please do keep your children home if they are sick. We want to make sure that we keep all of our campers healthy. So if your camper is having a fever or signs of cold or flu, please keep them home as to not spread. Camper medications, including EpiPens and things like that, there's going to be all types of forms that you're going to fill out ahead of time, letting us know what camper medications you have. All of those go through our nurse's office. So our camper medications are either stored in our nurse's office and administered by our nurse, or if it's an EpiPen or something that needs to be with the camper, that's going to be with our staff member throughout the day. Whichever staff member is with that camper is going to have their EpiPen and be with them at all times throughout the day. So we have certain procedures for our medications that we follow closely. Camper allergies, of course, we always it's really important that families know if their camper has any allergies. There's lots of opportunities for you to fill that out on their medical forms and medical history. What I will say about this is we are not a peanut or latex free campus. We do allow peanuts and other nuts and latex and things like here on campus. We do almost all of our eating outdoors. So we always make sure that campers have their own space, they're spread out, and we have a policy of no food sharing. But it is important for families to know that we are not a peanut or latex free campus, but we do make every effort to make sure that allergies are respected and there's plenty of space as kids are eating. Our lice policy is simply if your child has signs of lice, please don't send them to camp. If your camper comes and is showing signs of lice, we're going to send them back home to you. Pretty simple on that one. Some communication fast facts. I always like to let families and parents know these ones. If your camper is going to be absent, we ask that you please call us because at the morning we're always checking in. We're seeing who's here, who's not here. If your camper is expected to be here today and they don't show up, we're going to give you a call. We're going to call home and be like, "Hey, we expected Pete to be here today. We just want to make sure everything's okay." So if you know that your camper is not going to be here on any given day, if you can call us or email us, that would be tremendous because that saves us a lot of time in the morning, not having to make a whole bunch of absence calls. So that would be a big help on our end. Anytime I have to call home, I always start the conversation with, "Hey, this is Mike, no emergency," because first things first, when you get a call home from the camp director or somebody else at camp, it can be a cause for worry. So if you get a call from us, please don't be alarmed. We're probably just calling to check in to see if your camper didn't show up or let you know about a bumper bruise or another, minor medical thing that happened, hopefully pretty minor. We'll give you a call if we need to, or a behavior issue, but usually you don't need to be alarmed when we call home. May 1st is our due date for all of our required tasks and forms on our CampMinder app. CampMinder is also known as Camp in Touch, so I usually refer to it as Camp in Touch when I'm talking to families and parents. So there's all of our medical forms and many, many other forms that we require are in your Camp in Touch application. We ask that you get those done sooner rather than later is great, but May 1st is the absolute deadline. If those forms are not done by May 1st, you could forfeit your camper's place at camp. So we don't want to see that. So get those forms done. We do send home a weekly newsletter called the Camp Ketcha Chronicle that fills all of our families and parents in on what's going to be going on at camp, what we've been up to, some fun stories, other things that happen. And then for our youngest campers, our Cottontails and our Woodchucks, so that's pre-K through second grade, we send them home every day with daily notes filled out by their counselors. We know that it can be like pulling teeth to get our younger campers to talk about what they did at camp sometimes. So we help you out in that process by sending them home with notes that talk about what activities they did that day, maybe what their favorite thing was, and if there's any issues, maybe they forgot to have a second snack, maybe forgot to put on sunscreen, whatever it is. So we put those in the notes to send home to our parents and families every day. I do like to talk about this because as part of our safety here at Camp Ketcha, we're really, really big on boundaries. This is kind of a campaign that we launched last summer and it was really successful. So every Monday, we always talk to our campers about boundaries here at Camp Ketcha. Our staff members, before camp even begins, they go through training on these boundaries and things like that. But basically, the boundaries are what help create a respectful place at camp where everybody feels safe. So, getting into that a little more thoroughly, some of our boundaries are kindness only. At Camp Ketcha, we always say it is cool to be kind. We know that safety isn't just physical safety, but it's emotional safety as well. So we make sure that our campers and our staff are not using words or actions that make others feel uncomfortable or unsafe. We look out for each other, is basically that. Our rule of three is very, very important. We take this very, very seriously. The rule of three is very simple. It means that there's always going to be three people together or more here at camp. So if one camper needs to go to the bathroom, we're either going to send them with a counselor and a buddy, or we're going to send them with two counselors or whatever that may be. So there's always going to be at least one counselor with every camper as well as a buddy, but there's never going to be two counselors. I'm sorry, there's going to be never going to be two campers alone. There's never going to be one counselor alone with a camper. There's always going to be three people together. That way, everybody has eyes out and everybody can be safe and hold each other accountable and feel supported. Some more of our boundaries, respecting personal boundaries. You know, I love a good hug. I love a good high five and a fist bump, but not everybody feels that way. So one thing that we're always reinforcing with our campers and our staff is that if you'd like to give somebody a hug or a high five, it requires asking their permission first and not just doing it. And letting our campers know it's totally okay to say no to those things. It's okay if you don't want a high five, not a problem. We're going to respect your personal boundaries. Another boundary is hands off the swimsuit zone. So we're always educating our campers and letting them know that nobody should ever be touching them anywhere where their swimsuit covers. And if someone does touch them in a way that makes them feel uncomfortable or anything like that, they should always, always tell a trusted adult. That could be their counselor, that could be our camper support specialist, that could be me, the director, that could be anybody from our leadership team, any adult that they feel comfortable talking to. We always encourage that they should if they feel uncomfortable for any reason. And then just sharing with a trusted adult, we kind of just covered this, but if someone's not respecting boundaries at camp, our camper should always tell a trusted adult, whether that's verbally, in person, writing a note, whatever that is. The bottom line is we're here to help. We want Ketcha to feel like a safe, comfortable place where everybody feels welcome, everybody feels safe. And that's very, very important to us. So that's why we're really, really delving deep on these boundaries, both with our staff and our campers. This is some more of our safety protocols that we have here at camp. We already covered our five-finger contract. Those are the rules that we expect our campers and our staff members to adhere to. Our ACA staffing ratios, I covered that. We're very, very proud of our very low staff to camper ratios. Again, it's for our younger campers, it's 1 to 5. Our oldest campers is 1 to 8. So there's always lots of staff around. Rule 3 is just talked about that. All of our staff, when we hire them, they go through background checks. All of our staff members need to have references in writing. So if they're a new staff member, we require three references. If they're a returning staff member, we actually still require 2 references. We have video cameras installed around our main buildings and other areas. Of course, our campus is 107 acres. We don't have video cameras in every corner, but we do have lots of cameras in our main buildings and other areas that are always recording. We talked about our sunscreen and bug spray and tick defense policies. We do make sure that our campers and our staff are drinking water regularly. That's really important. We talked about our camper support specialist staff that we hired. We're really, really excited to have Brittany back. She is such a huge resource for our campers that are having a rough day or having some behavior issues. It really helps to keep them safe and everybody else safe. We talked about our nurse. on staff at all times. We talked about our lifeguards. We talked about our 25 to 30 hours of staff training, included mandated reporter, child abuse prevention, emergency preparedness. Last year, we invested in a lot of brand new walkie-talkies, and we'll be buying even more this summer. So all of our camp groups, all of our travel groups will always have at least one walkie-talkie, if not more. All of our counselors are expected to have a small first aid kit with them at all times. And then, of course, just having head and senior counselors goes a lot into our safety. Having head counselors that are age 21 plus and senior counselors that are ages 18 plus. I think I forgot to mention that 80% of our staff is always going to be ages 18 plus. So only 20% of our staff or less are ages 15 through 17. So 80% of our staff is age 18 plus. And then all of our staff members do have to read and sign a staff code of conduct. So these are all different ways that we make sure that everybody on our campus, all of our campers, stay safe throughout the summer. All right, we've made it. How did I do on time? Not too bad, not too bad. We're going to open this up for some questions and answers. As I said, we do have some upcoming orientations in the spring. We have 2 in-person open houses. We're going to release more information on those as we get closer. We are going to ask people to RSVP for our open houses. It's not going to be 100% required. Like if you show up without having filled out RSVP, we're not going to kick you out and send you home, but we're going to ask that people please do RSVP for our open houses. Those are going to be Wednesday, April 29th here at Camp Ketcha from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then again on Saturday, May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And as part of those open houses, we're going to do, again, this slide presentation I'm doing now, we're going to do campus tours so you can go and see our amazing campus and walk around. And if you'd like to bring campers, your young people to those open houses, you can. We will have staff members on site doing different types of art activities, some simple coloring, some simple other arts and crafts in our conference room while the adults are going through this presentation. And then we are going to do another virtual orientation on Tuesday, May 5th from 6 to 7:30. So those are other opportunities to learn more about what we're doing. Here again is a couple QR codes to our summer camp handbook and our summer camp handouts. If you didn't get an opportunity to point your camera at the screen and do that, you can do that now. I will leave that up for a second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I am going to see. I'm going to make it so that people are able to turn on their microphones. There we go. So now I have it so that people can unmute themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and open the floor. If anybody would like to ask a question, you can unmute yourselves. If you want to turn on your video camera, you certainly can. And then in the meantime, I'm going to go into the chat to see if we had any questions that were put into the chat while I was distracted by sharing my screen and telling you guys all the cool stuff that we do. Okay. I don't see any questions in the chat. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it up to the floor if anybody wants to ask a question. Okay, I see Jessie has her hand up. Let's see if Jessie, can you unmute yourself? I think I gave everybody the ability to unmute themselves. Let me make sure. Yep. Everybody should have the ability to unmute themselves.
Should I
Hey,
just go?
I can hear you now, Jessie. How you doing?
Good. So I just have a question about camp population and how kiddos rotate between traditional and specialty camps.
Yep.
We were actually a part of Ketcha before it was Ketcha Outdoors in the preschool.
Okay,
great. We're trying to come back and we're
Mhm.
trying to just understand, are most people still doing like the full 8 weeks like it used to be, or are they bebopping in and out? And is it likely that you'll still be able to register if you're not doing that giant chunk that a lot of people are doing?
Yeah, great question. There's a lot to answer in there. So our camp has always been pretty a la carte. People can sign up for individual weeks. Again, I've only been here. This is going to be my second summer. To my knowledge, I don't know if we've ever offered where people can sign up for all the weeks at the same time, but basically it's a la carte. The difference between our traditional camp and our specialty camps, those are all different options that you'll have when you register. So you have the option to do, if you want to do nothing but traditional camp throughout the summer, and you're able to sign up for all. We're actually doing a shortened 11th week, so all 11 weeks, you're able to do that. If you want to sign up for nothing but specialty camps, you're able to do that too. Um, One thing I will say about our specialty camps. So, for example, like we're offering the World of Water specialty camp 3 times throughout the summer. Um, People are welcome to sign up for World of Water 3 times if there's space available, if they can get in when they register. But just know that those camps are going to basically have the same curriculum every single time. So the camper isn't going to really experience something new, but it's still going to be fun. They're still going to have a good time, but it's going to be the same thing. So same thing with like our art camps, same thing with our fantasy camps. We do offer our specialty camps a couple times throughout the summer. So the curriculum for those specialty camps is going to be the same each time. So that's just one note about signing up for specialty camps versus traditional. Um, Now, you mentioned like signing up for 8 weeks or more at a time. So, in the past, one of the policies that we had was that families that were interested in signing up for 7 or more weeks of camp all at once had the opportunity to register earlier than the general public. That is something that we decided to change this year, and that actually was one of the hardest decisions that we've made. Um, and the reason that we did that is we were hearing from many, many, many families for years now, according to Liz, who's our director of operations, who's been here for over 20 years and absolute treasure. Um, we were hearing from families for years and years that they were having a hard time registering for as many weeks as they wanted because a lot of the weeks maybe were already filled up or other things from families that sign up for 7 weeks or more. Um, we wanted to try to make registration as equitable as possible. Um, and we wanted to make sure that families that maybe didn't have the financial means to sign up for 7 weeks or more had the same opportunity to sign up and register as anybody else. That was our thinking behind the process. What I will say is the reason that was such a hard decision for us to make is we knew that that was going to cause some issues with those families that were used to signing up for 7 weeks and appreciated signing up for 7 weeks. So what I can say now is that we're always, always, always open to feedback. We always encourage feedback. We love to hear from families about what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Um, so this is something new that we're trying this year, just to have more of an open registration so that people can sign up for 1 week or 11 weeks or whatever it is all at the same time. Um, so that's kind of what we're going with on that. As far as, and I see a question in the comments as well that kind of addresses this. How competitive is our registration? So our registration is fairly competitive. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Whether we're letting people register early or not, our registration's always been fairly competitive. Generally speaking, the younger your camper is, the more competitive it is. So if you have a camper that is going into pre-K and K, that is our Cottontails camper, those are probably the camps, the traditional camps that are going to fill up the most quickly. After that, probably comes our woodchucks, which is our first and second graders, campers going to first and second grade. And that probably is our next most competitive, although that is also the largest number of campers we have. Our woodchucks group is actually our largest. And then some of our specialty camps sign up very, very quickly. So our whitewater rafting gets signed up for very quickly. Our World of Water camps get signed up for very quickly. And the other thing I'll say about this in general is that through our Camp in Touch system, when you go to register, if a camp is full, you do have the opportunity to join a wait list. So the policy through Camp in Touch that we use is that families can sign their camper for one wait list per week. So what that means is, let's say on week 4, uh, you're interested in having your camper do traditional camp and one of the specialty camps week 4. Um, if both those should happen to be filled up, then you would have an option to either join the wait list for the specialty camp or the wait list for the traditional camp, but not the wait list for both on the same week. On other weeks, you can join other wait lists for sure, but basically it's one wait list per camper per week, if that makes sense. Um, so that was a lot of information just kind of threw out there. Did that answer your questions? And is there anything else that I can add to on that? Jesse, if I
I'm
don't
good,
hear.
thanks.
Oh, okay, great.
I think
Excellent.
I have, I mean, I was there 10 years ago, so I
Mhm.
think I have PTSD because it used to be like you'd wake up, you pay $20, and then you'd rush, and then it was a hot mess. So I understand why Allison's nervous, and Allison, you should wake up early.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we open the registration at 7:30 in the morning. Between you and me, I don't like being at work at 7:30 in the morning, but we do that because we know that parents need to go to work. They need to get on with their day. So we open it at 7:30 so that people can get up early and do some registration and hopefully get all the registration taken care of and then still get to work on time. So that's why we do it early in the morning. All right. If anybody else would like to either unmute themselves and ask a question or type one in the chat, I am happy to answer any other questions that you might have. Okay. Well, I'm not hearing any questions. I'm not seeing any questions. What I will say as a final question disclaimer, oh, someone's typing. What I'll say as a final question disclaimer is if you do have any questions, please email me at summercamp@ketchaoutdoors.org. Once again, summercamp, singular, at ketchaoutdoors.org, not .com, .org. So summercamp@ketchaoutdoors.org. Always happy to answer any questions via email. If you want to email me directly, it is mvincent, MVINCENT, at Ketcha Outdoors. Once again, I am the Director of Youth Camp Programs. Please give me a shout out on email. Happy to answer any questions you might have, or give us a call. Either way. But I want to thank everybody for attending tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for the questions that you either asked or put in the chat. That was really helpful. And we are so excited about the 2026 camp season. We have lots of returning staff members that we've already heard from. As I said, a lot of our key staff members, our nurse, our camper support specialist, our waterfront director, are all coming back. And it's huge to have them because they have so much information and great. So yeah, lots of our counselors have already expressed that they want to come back. So it's looking like it's shaping up to be a tremendous, amazing summer. And I'm really excited for it. So thank you all for being here. Looking forward to seeing all of you this summer and beyond, or maybe at one of our upcoming open houses. All right. And with that, if there's no further questions, I will say good night and everybody have a fantastic weekend and we'll see you in the spring. All right. Bye-bye.